Well, good morning, everybody. It's your lonely trans girl. I'm just going out for a day ride today. I'm gonna take a giant loop around the Okanagan. Seeing that my giant loop around BC didn't really work out, maybe I could try it today. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. The weather's been really iffy. Thunderstorms have been rolling in the afternoons. You know, but I have to go back to work tomorrow, so I'm going to make the absolute most of the last day I have off. And I can't think of a better way to spend that than on Masami. So the route I have planned, I'm going to go up the connector and then down through Aspen Grove to Princeton. And then I'm going to make my way to Oliver. And then over to Rock Creek and up Highway 33 and back home. And that way I don't have to deal with bridge traffic in the afternoon. And I'm trying something different with this microphone. I kind of talk quietly, so I increase the gain a little bit. And I have the noise canceling feature turned on my big trip. And it's hard to hear stuff, so I don't know if maybe I'll have too much wind noise now. Not entirely sure if I figured out the best way to work this camera setup. But yeah, anyway, on this trip I think I'm going to cover, like I've had some thoughts about riding and how I ride and what I ride and where I ride. So maybe we'll discuss that. I've had some friendship issues, so maybe we'll discuss that. And just celebrate the last day of our summer holidays riding on a motorcycle. And hope it doesn't rain on me. Alright, so I gotta go get gas. And I probably won't talk to you till I get to the Aspen Grove turnoff. It's just going up the highway in the connector. It's not very fun and it's awfully loud. So join me if you want to, and we'll go for a ride today, and we'll talk about stuff, and it's kind of like an extra free therapy session for me, so if you don't want to participate, I understand, but I need to talk through some of these things. Anyway, I'll check with you later. Bye. Hey y'all, so I made it to the Aspen Grove turnoff. It is really cold up on the Coquihalla and the Summit connector. Brr. It's like August, right? Yeah, August. Anyway, this is a sweet road. I hope this all turns out well. I remembered last time I was getting so much wind noise from this microphone, and I think I remembered someone saying in a review that the microphone is mono, and I still had my camera set to stereo audio, so maybe it was picking up like one channel from my mic and one channel from the camera and then blending it together, because some of it sounded like I just had the camera on without a microphone. But you could still hear me talking, but like there was just a lot of so I don't know. I'm not very clever with these things, but hopefully this is better. So yeah, I didn't really plan like a little like speech, or I don't have anything like written out. I'm not taking multiple takes. Like it's kind of all off the cuff, so bear with me if it's confusing. But yeah, some of my thoughts are about like riding and my bike, and like saying on my trip I had that experience. It's just like, like I've just lost a lot of faith in my Honda dealership. And then I was actually watching a video yesterday about it's from a Toyota master mechanic, and he's one of the reasons I bought the car I did and why I'm kind of treating it the way I am is from his advice. And yeah, he said he used to work at a dealership, and he's like, his dealership was actually really good, but they still cut a lot of corners. They still use like generic oils. They still do all this shit and charge you like Toyota, like above Toyota MSRP for parts, and then sometimes they're just generic parts. So the term dealership, like I always thought was kind of like a funny little like play on words, but I don't know, it seems to be the truth. And I had a comment from a viewer from my video business. He was like, the best thing is to be able to do it yourself. And bar that, if you don't feel comfortable, find a private mechanic, because dealerships are terrible. Yeah, like I always kind of thought in the back of my mind, like, dealership is supposed to be the specialist in your vehicle and your brand of car, like, you know, the don't open your hood to strangers thing, and like, but it's just a huge fucking scam. And it's disgusting. Like, I felt so gross buying a car last year. I feel gross going in buying a motorcycle. Like, it's just, the whole experience is pretty nasty. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go back to Honda. I'm gonna try and find a decent mechanic that will be honest and not rip me off and actually give a fuck about my bike and my safety. That would be really great if I could find something like that. And even as far as my car, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to take it to Toyota anymore. Like, last time I took it there for an oil change before putting it in a wing camping, they forgot to do the oil change. Like, I brought it in for an oil change, and you're like, nah, it doesn't need it. And I'm like, but the car said it did. Nah, you're fine. And I'm like, okay, I guess you're the expert, right? Like, and then I get back in the car after the service, which took like 2 or 3 hours, and the computer on my car is like, change oil in 100 kilometers, and wasn't that what they were doing? So like, I went and complained. Like, I don't want to be a complainer, but I'm like, dude, like, you told me I don't need an oil change, but I think my car is smarter than both of us at this point in our history. So it's saying it does. So like, so they got me in, and again, like, they took it back into the shop and changed the oil. Apparently, I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Like, who knows what the fuck they're doing in there. But I did request for them to rotate my tires, and they didn't do that. It wasn't on the service bill at all. So, and then the audacity of all that is, like, the service advisor phones me, and she's like, hey, they're gonna send you a survey about our performance. She's like, you know, like, I know we had a little mishap, but I would love a 10 out of 10 rating. And I'm like, man, I brought my car for an oil change, and you didn't change the oil. Okay. You want a 10 out of 10 for that? You fucking crazy? I don't understand why you would even ask for that. So yeah, I don't know, dealerships. So that's one thing I was questioning. Another thing I'm questioning is the whole, like, riding thing in general, right? Like, I love riding. I love being on this bike. I love Masami. Masami is super cool. Like, he's very comfortable. He's very versatile. He's got a big tank, great range, good gas mileage. Like, it's reliable. If you're not getting Honda to work on it. And, like, it's fun enough, you know, so. But at the same time, like, I feel he's too heavy for me to explore off-road. And I worry about that. Like, I worry about getting in trouble out there by myself. or getting injured. Like I said, especially after that rider down first aid course I took, it's like, you're really on your own out there, or you're putting a lot of people out of their way to come and help you. And I'm sure I've mentioned it, so like this is what search and rescue do. It's their thing. Like, I'm sure they love helping people. They wouldn't be in that line of work in the first place. But at the same time, like, it's a lot. You put all that on them because you did something stupid. Like, I don't want to be the reason that all these people have to go out of their way and do the job. Like, I love that they do that job, and I appreciate there's people there doing it. But it seems to me that, like, if I can easily avoid putting myself in that situation, maybe I should. I'm not sure. It's difficult to think. I'm not really sure how to do it. Like, I just watched a video from this really cool girl I've been watching for a long time. She calls herself Doodle on a Motorcycle. And she's got she's put so much effort into learning how to be a great rider. And she's got a lot of experience. And yeah, she went down in a death wobble recently, and she released a video about it, and she hasn't ridden for months because of the injuries. And then the fear starts getting to you after those months roll by and you haven't been back on the bike. I was commenting on that video, like, my very first motorcycle was a Honda 50 mini bike with a semi-automatic 3-speed. Like, I did take a really long break from like 16 to 44, maybe, I think, something like that. So I did take a big long break without riding, but like, it's very natural. Like, I get on the bike and it feels fine, it feels fun. It's not scary. Like, it's something I'm used to, I guess. Like, I just grew up with it, so but then, like, does that mask the danger? Like, am I not looking at it clearly enough because it's comfortable for me, so I don't worry about it until the worst happens, and then you're at the mercy of help of others coming to help you. I feel like I'm burdened often enough without like going out of my way to create problems for other people. I don't know, I'm really struggling with that. It's like today's ride, like, I kind of laid it out as just a road ride. Like, I guess I'm lying. There is a little dirt section that I've done before. And that's the part I struggle with, is like, I really, really enjoy that part. Being in the woods and being out on a dirt road, feeling like you're totally alone, and there's just something really satisfying about that I really, really enjoy. But this bike, for me, for my size, for my strength, like, it's intimidating off-road. It's heavy, it's tall, like, it's not... It's funny because people will have, like, that actually have, like, real adventure bikes and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I'm not a big person. It's like, like, when I reach for the ground, like, a lot of the times I can get my feet down. But sometimes, depending on the terrain, it's tricky, and then this thing starts tipping, it's heavy, and I can't hold it up at a certain point. Picking it up is a struggle. I can only pick it up once or twice before I'm just cashed. The thought I was playing with in my mind was like a 2-bike solution. And I honestly think, like, the one bike to do everything is such a misnomer. Like, there's no way one bike can be fun and sporty and get good mileage and be great on the highway and be easy and light and clickable off-road and like easy to pick up, and it's just, it's not something that can be done, I don't believe, with modern technology. You start filling frames with helium, I don't know. But so I don't know, in my mind, like, I've been watching videos on different bikes, and Suzuki with their new GSX bikes done a really good job with that. Like, that parallel twin 800 engine is supposed to be a clappers, like this just torque monster, and it's supposed to be a hell of a lot of fun to ride. The problem is, like, the looks don't really appeal to me. They have the S, which kind of looks like an alien, and they have the R, which looks like a sports bike. I prefer a naked alien looking thing than a sport bike, honestly, but they're releasing one in the fall called the GSX 8TT, which has like a little bikini fairing on the front and like retro stripe colors, but it looks like a modern bike. It's just, I don't know, it's a very appealing motorcycle. Like, it's one of those bikes where you look at it, you swoon a little bit and your knees get a little weak and you're like, holy fuck, like, that's a nice bike. It has a little tiny bit of wind protection, which I seem to like. I don't really seem to like the giant windscreen, so maybe a little bikini fairing would be nice. And then it's like nearly double the horsepower of the Sami. So not like insane, but more than enough to be extremely fun on something like this. Like, this would be such a fun road to ride on. That's Suzuki. But then, you know, it's low to the ground, it's cool looking, it's got like a belly pan and a cool paint job, and like more sport bike style foot pegs. Like, it's not something that you want to take on a gravel road. I mean, a mild gravel road wouldn't be bad into a campsite or something, but it's like, you don't want to just trek off into an FSR on a GSX 8TT. So it's like the two bike solution thing to me would be like a Honda Trail 125 or a Yamaha DW 200. Like, those bikes are something I can really get onto and get my feet down and pick it up when I drop it and just putt. Like, I don't want to be off the road, like, jumping fucking railway tracks and, like, you know, climbing mountain hills. Like, I'm not going to go up that. Like, you know, like, I just want to explore. Like, I honestly feel if I was born 300 or 400 years ago, I would have been an explorer. And that's, I just like to get out there and not know where the fuck I'm going or what I'm going to see, and discover it all for myself at my own pace. So that's something I've been playing with in my mind. However, these things cost money. Like, you can't just walk into a dealership and be like, I want those two bikes. Yeah, I mean, it looks like people on YouTube do that sometimes, but it's not the way it works, right? And it's, I just watched a video about a guy talking about the #1 personal wealth killer for everybody is transportation. Buying vehicles is a stupid way to spend your money. All you do is lose cash on them, and then you're into debts for repairs and maintenance and gas and insurance, and it's like all those ancillary costs you don't even really think about add up really fast. Like, I've noticed with Masami, I'm sure I've paid more in servicing him than I did purchasing him in the first place by now. So it is a factor that you really have to consider. And then thinking about it, I'm like, well, at this point in my life, I still have, you know, maybe 5 to 10 years of work before I can retire, somewhere in there. And I am living with my parents, which gives me like a nice reduction in rent. And it makes my life more affordable to explore different avenues of different things and try different things, and figure out who I am and what I like. And all those things are just super helpful and really great and totally appreciate it. But at the same time, like, do I want to be so strapped for cash while I'm paying for 2 more bikes and a car till the end of my working career? Like, and then you think again, well, after my working career, there's no way I can afford to do it. So should I just bite the bullet, go into some vehicular debt? And at the end of the day, is it going to be that much more fun than Masami? Will I take a trail 125 on that much more harder spots than I would take Masami? I like to think so. With a bike like that, like, you can see an offshoot and be like, I'm just gonna go and check it out. Because you can put both feet on the ground and you can walk the bike up a hill. You could drop it and pick it up. Like, it's just such a simple, easy, light, small, fun little, like, but you can't take that motherfucker on the road. Like, it's just not fast enough. So yeah, something super quick, not super quick, something, you know, with a little bit more, it would be vulgar, but a little bit more balls than Masami would be a lot of fun. I think I would really enjoy that when I'm street riding or going farther off places. Just to have that grunt, like when I'm behind a bus and 2 RVs, that I could pull out and pass them. Like, that would be cool. I can't really do that with Masami too often because, you know, he's got enough, but he doesn't have enough to really motor, you know, like to really pick up and get past these things. That's what that Suzuki engine looks just like perfect for. It says you've got more torque than an MT-07, which is a torque monster, right? Like, that's the torquey bike. The 8S is just, it's all grunt. And that sounds really appealing to me. But on the other hand, they're already, in the UK anyway, they're already charging like £2,500 over what an 8S is. And it's the same bike, it just has a bikini fairing and a different paint job and a bigger tank. So all that's tricky, and it's been just looking at like a TW200 on the website, and it's like, it all starts cheap, but then once you start adding in like the fees and the blah and the dud and the blah 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 and the financing and the insurance and the, like, it's just, you're like, man, like, that's a ridiculous amount of money for such a small dinky little bike. So my other plan maybe is just to, maybe instead of spending the money on that, talk to a financial advisor and start a little investment portfolio for myself. And then maybe when I retire, I can find a used GSX-8 TT or a used TW200 and let someone else eat that depreciation. And if I found a really good, solid mechanic I can trust, get them to look at it, or if there's problems, they can fix it for me, and it's as good as new. So I've been really like hooked on this thing where it's like I can't trust people, and I have to buy a new vehicle. I don't know what the hell people are doing with shit. But it's a good way to lose a lot of cash too. So I don't know. I know in my mind the smartest thing would be to save money and try to find a used one later down the road. So logically, that's probably what I should. Emotionally, as like, you know, like, we're all like kids at a candy shop when we think about motorcycles. It's like, I want what I want, and I want it now. And, I don't know. When you're not like super wealthy or super connected, that's just not how it works. Yeah, that's another thought. So I guess if you are talking about a one bike solution, like, this is kind of as close as you can get, I suppose. Like maybe the new Ibex or whatever they're called, the Moto, maybe those are a little bit better because it's the twin cylinder, but it's a little bit lighter than the Song. But I don't know, I still don't think it's light enough, and I still don't think it's low enough, so that's the problem. It's like I see all these really cool bikes that are just awesome, and I get on them, and my feet dangle in the air, and I can't get them off the side stand. Like, I don't know if this is a good idea, guys. So yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Lower, lighter, smaller, easier, simpler off-road bike, and a lower, more powerful, cooler, fun street bike. That would be my ultimate dream bike garage. But I struggle with expenses. My other heavy subject I had for today, this is a heavy subject because it's about friends. My best friend, like Petra, and I kind of split up the other day. And it's really sad, and if she ever does see this, I am really sorry. Like, I didn't want to hurt you, but like, at the end of the day, like there's been more than a few times I've left visiting her, and I feel really bad about me. And like I drive away from there going like, this is the last time I'm gonna go visit her. Like, and then like, you know, we start talking like casually again on chat and stuff, and it's like it's just easier that way, and we're like, oh cool, like, well, why don't you come visit? And I'm like, okay, like that sounds fun, like, and then it's just not. And it's like the one that really brought it to a point for me was she had gotten surgery for carpal tunnel, and I used my own sick time to go and help her, and like, you know, so she didn't have to grab shit, or like I could go to her house and help her recover and make it easier for her. Like, she's just extremely ungrateful and mean. Like, you know, like I couldn't do anything to help her without it being done totally wrong, or like the big size, or like getting yelled at. And you know what? Like if I wanted this, I would go help my father. And so it's like, when I left that time, I was like 100%, like that is the last time I'm going to visit. This isn't good for me, and I don't feel good about it. Like I don't want to go to someone's house and be treated like I'm less than, or be talked down to, or like trying to help you. So that was my thoughts then, but then, like I said, after a couple months, things kind of like calm down, and you haven't seen them, and you're like, okay, like maybe things will be better. And then like her boyfriend passed, and it's like, how can you just be like, oh, fuck you now? Like, so it's like, I went down a couple times after that, used the rest of my personal time to be there for her in some way, shape, or form. Like, I don't know, I've never lost anyone. I don't know how to deal with that. Like, but I thought maybe just someone there would be nice. But it's just like, I don't use the M word, but just kind of mean. Like, and I have like meanness and anger really trigger me. Like, really really badly. I grew up in a very angry, mean household. Angry, mean men just being angry and mean to me all the fucking time. And it's like, I don't want that in a relationship. Like, I just don't. And it's like maybe I'm a little picky because I turn away a lot of people that like make me feel bad, and I'm like, but then at the end of the day, like that's not what a friendship or a relationship is supposed to be. Like, you know, like maybe I'm looking for something that just doesn't exist, but it's not like I want to be like celebrated or like treated like royalty or anything. Like I just don't want to be criticized and like judged for everything I do. And like so how can that be healthy, right? Like that's what I had a therapist say. It's like, you know, don't treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat them the way they treat you. And it just came to a point because like I didn't talk to her for a little bit after the last time we visited. It's like I said, I was feeling bad about myself, which doesn't make me feel good. So I'm like I just kind of focused on the things that make me feel good, like riding my bike, taking my dog to the park, going camping, like things that I find fun. And then she got really mad at me because I didn't check in on her. And I guess something else happened with her boyfriend's family. Like, wasn't cool, and it made her feel really shitty. But like, that's not me. I didn't do that. It's not my fault. Don't take it out on me. And so then I just didn't talk to her for another until I got back from my holiday. And I was a little snippy because I've had 2 months to like kind of like pull this over and be like, you know, like this isn't a friendship I really want. It's not healthy for me. It's probably not good for her if like I come over and all she thinks about is how annoying I am and how like I can't do fucking anything right. She keeps calling me childish all the fucking time. So it's like, you know what? Like this isn't good for you either. So I just kind of decided like I don't really want to do this anymore. I'm sorry the timing worked out this way, but it's something I've been thinking about for a very long time now. And I just haven't been able to do it. It's hard for me to do stuff like that. But it's also it's not sustainable to keep exposing myself to people that don't appreciate me. So yeah, that was kind of my decision on that. It's just to cut it off. So now I'm legit the lonely trans girl because she was my best friend. But it's like at the end of the day, like I gotta look at the people I choose. Like that was my best friend. Someone who called me childish and annoying, and like everything I did pissed her off. It's not healthy. It's not what I need. It's not what she needs. Like, I need an annoying friend, and I don't need a mean friend. So I guess that's just kind of over. But if I'm fully truthful, like there was a lot of things she wrote to me that I just didn't even read. So it's kind of, I've already kind of made my mind up when I contacted her in the first place that this friendship isn't working for me, or isn't working for us. And then, like I said, like all the things she called me childish and shit, but then it's like she went on for a couple hours just sending me terrible shit. So it's like, you know, and it's like I said, I honestly didn't read it all, but you know, when the message comes up on your phone, it's like the first few lines are just venomous. Like, when am I gonna open it up and read the whole paragraph about how shitty you think I am? Like, so it's like all that just what I told her, like, I'm comfortable in my solitude. I really am. I'm probably the best person I've ever met for me. I get me. I treat myself well. Like, I'm not super critical of me. Like, I know I make mistakes and I know I'm not perfect, but I don't point it out to myself constantly. You know what I mean? Like, because who is perfect? Like, I'd like to meet that person. So that's kind of the sad thing. But like I said, like trying to get out and meet different people, like not everybody is like that. Like Maddie, Paul's sister in Caslo, is the fucking sweetest human being I think I've ever met, and it's like that's what a friendship should be like. Like we spent a couple days together at the beginning of my holidays in Caslo. Toured me around the city, like took me to a play, like we went out for dinner, she gave me a t-shirt, like she's just kind. Like that's what I'm looking for is kind people. Like had enough of bitter, angry, judgmental folks. I don't want that in my life anymore, and if that's what I attract, then I'd rather be alone. You know, I have a dog that thinks I'm pretty cool, and that my mom loves me, and I have like a couple of acquaintances. I wouldn't call them great friends, but they're like acquaintances, and they don't treat me like that. Maybe they will eventually when they get to know me better. But it's just, it's not. I don't really know what else to say about it, but it's just. I did what I felt I had to do. And like I told her, this is not healthy for either of us. So why don't we just say goodbye and let it go? And like you don't have to be mean or angry about it. Like it's just it didn't work out. Maybe we're changing people too, right? Like, things change, people change, things happen. Stuff's different all the time. You know, like I'm always searching for this happy medium where it's like, you know, both sides of the extreme are bad places to be. I want my pendulum hanging in the center. Am I there yet? No. But I'm getting there, I think. Making smart choices about who I let into my life or become a part of me. I think that has a lot to do with that. Like, and then like, that's the thing too, like, saying how like supportive she was for me through all my shit, and how like I don't have any empathy, and I don't really believe that narrative, man. Like, I mean, it's easy. Like I was saying to her before, like your perception's your reality. So if that's your perception, I guess that's what you believe, and that's your truth. But from my point of view, like she told me a lot to stop being sad. Like after I came out and I lost my friends, I lost my family, I lost my home, I lost a huge chunk of my income, I lost my pension plan, like I lost fucking everything. Like everyone fucking turned their backs and walked away from me. Like even my children for a time. And like the advice I would get from her is stop being so sad. Why are you so sad all the time? And then like your ex was a cunt. Like I guess that's helpful in some way, but if I were to be all like, you know, at the same point to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, maybe you you should just stop being sad, and Matt wasn't such a super guy anyway. Like, how would that go over? So is that supportive or condescending? Like, and, yeah, like, I don't know, but I'm the childish one. So. Anyway, that's been something I've been struggling with for a while. And I think it's a burnout. But I have regrets about it. I wish it never happened that way. But people are who they are, man. Like, I can't say anything negative. Like, that's her personality, and that's fine. Like, and it's probably helpful in a way for her, but it's not what I'm looking for in a person. Anyway, that's my big blabs. That's my big blabs for the day. Just trying to get through this life with a minimum of shit and hardship, right? Like, everything is hard. Like, maintaining a relationship with your friends shouldn't be something that difficult. I shouldn't have to swallow my pride every time I see somebody and stay quiet and stay in the corner and let them tell me what to do, because if I do what I want to do, I'm just going to get shit on. So, anyway, I'm here in Princeton. It's 11 o'clock. I think I'm going to go to Thomasina's and get a sandwich and a coffee. But yeah, thanks for listening to my wonk, if anyone actually did. It was, it's helpful for me to get this stuff out of my brain. Hi, moo-moos! Hi, guys! Can I get through? Can I get through, guys? Good boys. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, boomies. That was cute. I don't think I've ever been caught in a cow jam before. Hey everybody, I'm just about home now. It's about 4:30 and I did about 450 kilometers. Still about 10 or so clicks from home. So that's a pretty decent day. I'm pretty happy about it. But anyway, I'll just say thank you for joining me, if anyone did, and listening to my rants. And no, those kids wanted me to do a wheelie, and I was like, man, my wheels come off the ground like fucking phone emergency services, man. Something's gone terribly wrong. One of these guys I was behind was like pulling an RV, and he had this like tongue-in-cheek sticker. It was all like, oh, I hate to pull out. And you're like, oh, that's so funny. But it's like, you know what? Like, I get the euphemism, like, haha, that's funny or whatever. But like, you know what really sucks? Is being behind a dickhead like you, going 30 or 40 kilometers an hour under the speed limit, because you won't pull the fuck out. Like, if you can't perform, pull the fuck out. That's all. That's my advice to y'all. Don't waste my time. Yeah, that was my giant loop around South Central BC. Yeah, 460 or so odd kilometers. Not so bad. And that's just such a tiny chunk of British Columbia too. Like, it's such a huge province. And then it's attached to such a huge country. And then it's attached to such a huge continent. Oh, that's just, there's so much. There's more to ride to than one person can get to. It's becoming quite apparent.